You've done the hard work. You've interviewed customers, observed their struggles, and finally pinpointed a massive, painful problem they need solved. The natural executive instinct is to approve a 5 million baht budget and start shoveling cash into building the most flawless, feature-rich product imaginable. Stop right there. Jumping straight from a newly discovered problem to a finalized product is high-stakes gambling. At this stage, everything you have in your hands is still a hypothesis. Until a customer actually pulls out their wallet and pays you, you are operating entirely on unproven assumptions. You reduce that risk by building a minimum viable product, or MVP. In the manufacturing and SME world, that term often gets a bad reaction. People assume an MVP means a cheap, low-quality, half-finished prototype that will ruin a brand's reputation. Let's scrap that definition entirely. An MVP is simply the smallest possible version of a product that delivers the core value to the customer. You build it to gather real-world, validated learning with the absolute minimum amount of effort and investment. Let's strip this down to a basic job to be done. Imagine your customer has one simple desire. They want to travel from point A to point B faster than walking. This chart shows the traditional waterfall approach to building that solution. In month 1, you build a single tire. Customer satisfaction is 0 because they can't use it. Month 2, a chassis, still 0. Month 3, an engine, 0. Finally, in month 4, you deliver a complete car. But because you waited until the very end to get feedback, you only now discover the customer's route involves a narrow alley where a car physically cannot fit. You spent 4 months and a massive budget building a solution that, while functional, is unusable for the customer's specific environment. Now, look at the agile MVP approach on this new timeline below. In week 1, you put wheels on a wooden board and hand the customer a skateboard. They are immediately traveling faster than walking. They tell you it's hard to balance, so in week 2, you add handles to make a scooter. They tell you their legs get tired, so in week 3, you add pedals and a chain to create a bicycle. In this model, the customer receives the core value of speed on day 1. Instead of guessing what they need over 4 months, every improvement is guided by how they actually use the product in the real world. Building that initial skateboard doesn't require a massive factory, and it certainly doesn't require an army of programmers. Some of the biggest companies in the world validated their ideas using clever workarounds. Before being acquired by Amazon, the founder of Zappos tested the demand for buying shoes online using a Wizard of Oz MVP. He didn't stock a warehouse. He took photos of shoes at local mall stores and put them on a simple website. When someone ordered, he went back to the mall, bought the shoes at full retail price, and mailed them. He lost money on shipping, but he proved that people would buy shoes without trying them on. The meal planning startup Food on the Table used a concierge MVP. Instead of coding a complex app algorithm, the founder walked around supermarkets, interviewed moms about their grocery lists, and manually typed up personalized meal plans to email them every week. When Dropbox started, creating seamless cloud syncing technology across different operating systems was incredibly difficult, so the founder made a landing page and video MVP. He recorded a simple 3-minute video demonstrating how the software would eventually work and posted it to an IT message board with a waitlist button. Overnight, that initial waitlist exploded from 5,000 to 75,000 users. Drew Houston secured that massive user base before the complex cross-platform sync code was even fully written. Today, you can use a piecemeal MVP. You can link a Line account to Google Sheets, design a catalog in Canva, and take payments via PromptPay. You end up with a system that functions like an expensive automated software suite, built entirely from free, off-the-shelf tools. None of these were final products. They were high-fidelity illusions, manually operated behind the curtain, designed to do exactly one thing: test whether a customer was willing to pay. This framework applies to physical B2B industries too. Imagine a traditional plastic injection factory that wants to launch a new line of eco-friendly foldable food containers. This chart compares the upfront capital needed for 2 different strategies. If management follows their standard playbook, they pay 600,000 baht to machine a solid steel mold and wait 45 days before they can run off a single batch. If factory managers find the container too hard to fold on the assembly line, that 600,000 baht investment is effectively lost. Now look at the lean MDP alternative. Instead of ordering the steel mold, The engineering team spends 1,500 baht and 2 days printing 10 prototypes on a 3D printer. The surface isn't perfect, but the containers fold correctly and withstand cold temperatures. The sales team takes those 10 plastic prototypes directly to 20 different factories. They let the floor managers handle them, get feedback on the lid hinges, tweak the 3D file, and print a new batch a week later. They use those optimized prototypes to secure 50,000 letters of intent, actual pre-orders from clients. By iterating with 3D prints first, the factory replaced a blind gamble with a data-driven decision. They didn't sign the 600,000 baht check until they had the confirmed orders to justify the expenditure. As a business diagnostician, a shindanshi, I use a 4-point checklist to stop perfectionism before it stalls a launch. Ask yourself these 4 questions. First, does your MVP make you a little embarrassed to show it to customers? LinkedIn founder Reid Hoffman argued that if you are not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. Second, is your MVP acting like a laser? It must focus on solving exactly one core problem. If you are adding dozens of secondary features, you are using time and money that hasn't been earned yet. Third, can you execute this test using manual human labor? Before paying a development agency, ask if one employee sitting at a desk replying to messages can simulate the entire system. Fourth, do you have strict failure criteria? You need a measurable line in the sand. If you show your brochure to 20 prospects and get 0 signatures, you must agree in advance to stop the project before burning more cash. Success in modern business isn't about having the prettiest product on day one. Instead, it's about being the organization that extracts the most accurate customer data for the lowest possible price. Think of your MVP as a lone paratrooper dropping into an unknown battlefield. Their only job is to scout the terrain. A general doesn't send their entire army, their capital, their engineers, and their supply lines into the fog. They wait until that single scout radios back, confirming the landing zone is safe and the customers are real. Once you get that confirmation signal, the next challenge is processing the incoming feedback to refine your product. In our next session, we'll look at the specific mechanics of that process, the build, measure, learn loop.